I'd like to extend my greetings to all of you by saying Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله والهدي هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. The reciting as follows: that all praises are due to Allah. We praise Him, we beseech Him for help, we ask for His protection. We seek refuge in Allah from the mischiefs of our souls and from the unsuccessfulness of our deeds. And whomsoever He guides, there is no one that can lead him astray. And whomsoever He causes to err as a result of his own actions, there is none that can lead him aright. And I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. He has no partners, no associates. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His messenger. O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah with the care which is due to Him and only Him. And do not die unless you are Muslim. And O people, be careful of your duty to your Lord who created you from a single being. Created his mate from the same kind and spread from these two many men and women. Be careful of your duty to Allah, by whom you demand one of another of your rights, and to the ties of relationship. Surely Allah is forever watchful over you. And O you who believe, be careful of your duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and speak the right words to each other. He will put your deeds into a right state for you and forgive you your faults. And whosoever obeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will indeed achieve a mighty success. Certainly after this, the best speech is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the worst of all things and affairs are newly invented matters in religion. For all newly matters in religion are innovations in religion. All innovations in religion are astray, and all astray will lead you directly to the hellfire. Again, my brothers and sisters, I bid you on this beautiful Jummah afternoon in the words of peace, Assalamu alaikum. You know, my brothers and sisters, in the light of this COVID-19 pandemic, certain medical people have placed certain restrictions on the people amidst 1.3 million people, 1.3 million cases, amidst 77,000 deaths. And so they're saying to us, well, we want you to wear a mask. We want you to make sure you put on hand sanitizer and make sure you wash your hands and you clean your hands very good. You disinfect yourselves. And one of the main ones is social distancing. Social distancing, and by social distancing, we can mitigate and we can minimize the death that's happening here, especially here in America. Well, that's the appeal that the medical institution is placing upon the people of the United States. My brothers and sisters, those of you who are listening, and my brothers and sisters everywhere, we appeal to you to save mankind. We appeal to you to save humanity from the wickedness into which it has fallen as a result of its distancing itself away from Allah's way. Distancing itself away from Allah's religion. Opposing what Allah has given us that's good and pure by His laws. That's the social distancing we should be doing. Because this calamity and this pandemic that is occurring now, there is a reason for it. And the reason is because of some of the calamities that are now existing today. Let us stay focused. Let us stay focused, my brothers and sisters, about what's going on now, you see. Because we remind you of the calamities that has befallen humanity due to its running behind its passions and traveling on Shaitan's path of temptation. You see, the people can't, they have to get out, they have this desire, these whims and wishes to do what they need to do because they desire to do it above their own life. Above their own life. And I'm going to tell you some of the calamities that we have ignored. That we have ignored these calamities that are going on right now. What about the calamity of the murdering of your offsprings? What about that calamity? Because the crime of murdering children, of murdering your offspring, which now has reached appalling numbers in today's society as a result of abortions performed secretly or openly. Secretly or openly. And this is among the results of making lawful illicit sex and immorality, charging women with working for a living, facilitating the means that allow men to get women as they want. What about that? That nobody wants to address because we are so inundated with this COVID-19 that we don't know what else is going on around us. What about the spread, my brothers and sisters, of illicit sexual relationships or intercourse? What about that? Because the making lawful of illicit sex is a great crime against who? Against humanity. Against humanity. Every religion and religious law that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down from heaven has forbidden this hideous crime, and every law, my brothers and sisters, has decreed for it the most severe punishment. Every law, from Judaism, from Christianity to Islam. Let me tell you what Isa alayhi wasallam says about illicit sexual contact. This is the Isa, the Messiah alayhi salam. He came to command the honorable and forbid the dishonorable. And illicit sex is among the greatest of what he forbade. Illicit sex. And this is what Isa alayhi salam quoted in the Bible in Matthew 5, verses 27 through 30. This is what he said. He says, "Ye have heard that it was said to them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. But he says, I say unto you, that whoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart." Now this is what he said. This is Isa alayhi salam. "And if thy right eye offends thee," he says, "pluck it out. For it is more profitable for thee that the members should perish, and not that their whole body should go to hell." And he says, "If thy right hand offend thee, cut it off." He says, "Cut it off, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not the whole body should go to hell." Now this is Isa alayhi salam who makes this statement about illicit sex. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was commanded in the Quran, in the 17th chapter of the Quran, the 32nd verse, Allah says, "And approach not illicit sex. Surely it is an indecency and an evil as a way," he says. This is what Allah Ta'ala says. So you see, my brothers and sisters, this is important for us to understand. This is one of the calamities that people are ignoring. People are ignoring these types of calamities. What about child molestation? What about child molestation? What about incest? We've forgotten about this because people have indulged into these whims and wishes and these types of desires. You can go on the computer nowadays and they're inundated with sexual predators all over the place. There's so many of them you can't catch them all. And you're talking about molestation of your children. You're talking about incest. People are ignoring these types of calamities, and these types of calamities is what causes calamities that's happening to us today in this COVID-19. And Allah said among the greatest acts of perversion the laws of Shaitan have brought about is child molestation. Child molestation, and incest. And we've forgotten about this. And the number of incidents, my brothers and sisters, have reached a frightful percentage, and that it warns of the destruction of civilization. It warns of the destruction of civilization. Go back and look what happened to Pharaoh's people. There were a place given to them. Why? Because they were not in reality relating to what Allah had came down and given Musa alayhi salam. They did not follow Allah's way. They did not follow Allah's religion. And so Allah commanded them to, but they refused. So he sent about plagues, locusts, lice, All these things because man's refusal to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's religion and his way. Allah says, go back and look and see what happened to the people before you. So plagues, famine, these things are nothing new. There's nothing new up under the sun. And so the home of the irreligious in reality has become homes of criminal activity, has become homes of predatory behavior. These are calamities that's going on right now. Guess what? You'll never know about them because we hear so much about COVID-19. We hear so much about COVID-19. And lost are the ideals of home, being a place of repose. Home is no longer a place of safety. Home is no longer a place of security. Home is no longer that, you see. A father's attack upon his sons. A father's attack upon his daughters. The raping of his children and his relatives. All of these, my brothers and sisters, is among the most hideous of what the earth has witnessed from acts of corruption and perversion. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. You see? What about the Catholic Church? We're talking about more molestation of children by the Catholic priests than ever before in the history of mankind. These religious people, as we so-called. What about the conception by any means? What about conception by any means forth of illegitimate children? You don't think that's a problem? You don't think that's a problem, my brothers and sisters? Because without doubt, permitting pregnancy through any means, whether by the husband or whether by others, and the establishment of sperm banks are among the greatest aggression against humanity. Why is that? Why would I say something like that? Because these methods bring forth people that are not linked into descent to their fathers. To their fathers. You are changing something that Allah has already mandated. You're changing something that Allah has already mandated. And what happens? It leads, you see, to the defilement of one's progeny and the destruction of one's lineage. That's why we all messed up right now. We're all messed up. This will quickly result in ruin and destruction, as there will come forth generations of illegitimate children who in reality do not know the meaning of mercy, nor are members of humanity except outwardly. They won't know that. And then as for being inwardly human, it is that person who is attributed to a mother, that person who is attributed to a father and lives within a circle of relatives and knows the meaning of family, knows the meaning of harmony, as this will not be present because of these types of situations. You see, and by this corruption, this killing and criminal behavior, it will become prevalent like it is right now. And we want to know something about why coronavirus is existing. We can always go back, but Allah knows His plan is above man's puny plots. You see, but go back and look and see what happened to the people before you. They tried to alter Allah's way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just put them in check. That's all He did. What about the abatement? And this is serious right here. And I want all you sisters to listen to this. What about the abatement and humiliation of women? The abatement and humiliation of women in today's society. Because these unjust laws, they falsely call for equality. These unjust laws have attacked and taken out the woman from her covering and her respect so that she may earn her livelihood by her own hand like men. like men. It is an injustice to women. It is an injustice to women. It degrades her to the fullest. It causes her to bear great burdens. It causes her to bear great burdens. It has turned her into a cheap commodity that every wicked and passing man get hold of only to throw it away on the side of the road when he finishes with it. And I say these for a particular reason, my brothers and sisters. Because one time a woman was exalted in her father's house. A woman was exalted in her father's house. That father would stand up for her needs. That father would propose marriage on her behalf, and men would seek her hand from her guardian, and men would pay her a dower. Then the husband became responsible for all her maintenance if she gave birth. Then the husband became responsible for the maintenance of children upon him. And moreover, as a mother, she has the greatest right upon her children. She has the greatest right upon her children after the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where are these laws now that we've eliminated? We have downtrodden the status of women in our society. And we're talking about COVID-19. What about all the women who have been betrayed? You see? And this is the woman that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's law has honored in this manner. Allah has honored this woman. But today, in this society, this is a calamity. This is a catastrophe. This is an epidemic. You see? And not just in America, but all over the world. Today, this woman has become a degraded, cheap commodity sold with every product. Sold with every product. She has, in reality, been reduced to no more than a cover girl. She has been reduced to no more than a passing enjoyment. She has been reduced to a wretched woman who must toil outside the home and live miserably inside the home, burdened with the domestic demands, the double demands of pregnancy, the double demands of childbirth, as well as having to struggle to acquire a livelihood by herself with her children. That's the fact. That creates a calamity. That throws society completely off balance. Off balance. And guess what? We've not forgotten about all this due to the COVID-19. It's still in existence. But all men and women are called right now to lift this injustice that has befallen upon women with such humiliation and degradation. That's one of the calamities that I'm referring to, my brothers and sisters. And see, this is advice. I'm not giving you this advice just for me, but prophets aforetime gave the same type of advice. If you look at Prophet Noah alayhi salam, Prophet Noah said, I convey unto you the message of my Lord. He said, I advise you sincerely, for I know from Allah that which you know not. Now that's Prophet Noah. I'm not claiming to be no prophet, but this is advice. But these prophets came with advice. You see, Prophet Hood said somewhat of the same thing. He said, I convey unto you the message of my Lord, and I am for you a true and sincere advisor. A true and sincere advisor. All of the prophets, alayhi salam, of Allah, you see, have gone through this same path of inviting their people to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us get focused here. Let us get focused, my brothers and sisters, and remind everyone that we should not be distancing ourselves from Allah's way, from Allah's religion. And that's what's happening. So, my words are from the heart. as you can see, my words are strictly from the heart. It is a call to believe in Allah. It is a call to believe in the Creator of the heavens and the earth, Subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a call to believe in all His great and noble messengers who were guides for humanity during every age. And to believe in the seal of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you see, who brought the complete and pure Islamic law in reality, which will remain forever until the end of this world. We have to abide by it. And if we don't, these things happen to us. These things happen to us. And it is this great Islamic law that guarantees bliss for all of humanity upon this earth. So I say, my brothers and sisters, these words are also a warning. These words are also a warning against the great perversion that is spread throughout the earth today, destroying chastity, destroying the family, destroying the earth. You see, destroying the circle of the womb. You see. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I just like to remind you, in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent diseases and plagues as a warning after warning to humanity. Warning after warning to humanity. But if these evil behaviors do not end, if these evil behaviors, my brothers and sisters, do not end, and that goes from the individual layperson all the way up through the leaders of our governments. If these behaviors do not end, my brothers and sisters, then let us wait for the coming punishment. And this is what Allah Ta'ala said, and I conclude this khutbah. Allah says, indeed, we sent messengers already to nations that were before you, Muhammad, and we seized them with misery and hardship in order that they might grow humble. Look, a president, we don't have a president that's humble at all. He's not talking about 77,000 deaths. He has no empathy for the people who have died or the families that are suffering. He only wants an economy. He's only interested in his economy, and that means that he's only interested in himself. But Allah gives us this commandment in order that they might grow humble. Nobody's humble who's arrogant in the land. And if only when our disaster came upon them, listen to this, Allah saying this, and if only when our disaster came upon them, they had been humble. They had been humble. Look at the people out in the street. They're not humble. They're not humble. They want to go back to work. They want to work, but they disregard everybody else's life. We regard our life and our livelihood, but we disregard everybody else's. We call it a rock in a hard place. A rock in a hard place. But Allah says this, but their hearts were hardened, and Shaitan made all they used to do seem fair to them. Shaitan made everything fair seeming to them. You see. So Allah says this in the Quran, then when they forgot what they were reminded of, we opened unto them the gate of everything, to even as they were rejoicing in what they were given, we seized them suddenly, and behold, they were so dumbfounded. They were so dumbfounded. So of the people who did wrong, the last remnant was cut off. And then he leaves this statement. And all praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. So you see, my brothers and sisters, our plea and our appeal is to save ourselves from ourselves. And the only way that we can do that is not to distance ourselves from the way of Allah. Is not to distance ourselves from the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah keep us to such an extent that we are close to Allah and His Messenger, and that we abide by all what He commands us in this life. And then we receive the rewards, inshallah, in the next, inshallah. May Allah bless all of you, and may Allah completely give you this Ramadan, inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu, nasta'inuhu, wa nastaghfiruhu, wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi, wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina, wa min sayyiati a'malina. بيده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. اللهم صل على نصارى دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وجعلنا منهم. اللهم من قبل دين محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ولا تجعلنا منهم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما صليت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. All praises are due to Allah. We praise Him, we seek His assistance and His protection. We believe in Him and we trust in Him. And we take us to refuge to Allah against the evils of our minds as well as the unsuccessfulness of our actions. And whomso He guides, there is no one that can lead him astray. And whomsoever He causes to err as a result of his own actions, there's none that can lead him aright. We ask, O Allah, help those who help the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and number us among them. And O Allah, disappoint those who try to disgrace the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and do not make us as those people. And O Allah, exalt Muhammad and the family of Muhammad as thou did exalt Ibrahim. And the family of Ibrahim, for surely thou art praised and magnified. And O Allah, bless Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and thou did bless Ibrahim and the family of Ibrahim, for surely thou art praised and magnified. Again, my brothers and sisters, as we are continued in this blessed month of Ramadan, it is very important. It's sad but true. It's sad but true that many of us have fallen. Let's not fall into the bad habit of only reciting the Quran during Ramadan. We should recite this Quran all the time. All the time, my brothers and sisters, especially during this month of Ramadan. And by doing this, we cheat ourselves out of the abundant blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for us. They're coming from reading the words of Allah. Because reading the Quran is the best way to remember Allah. Join us at night. Read the Quran along with us. It is the best way of remembering Allah. And what is it? It is also a protection from shaitan. And it cures for us and it ails us. You see? It cures us. It ails all of the things that we have within us. Now Allah says, O mankind, this is what He says in the Quran, O mankind, there has come to you a protection from your Lord and a healing for what is in your hearts, and for those who believe, a guidance and a mercy. This is what the Quran does for us. Invite people to come and read along with us so we can all get these beautiful blessings that we all need. Every person. And this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He says, whoever reads a harf, a letter, whoever reads a letter of the book of Allah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam shall have a good deed recorded for him or her, and every good deed is increased tenfold. A letter, one letter of the Quran is increased tenfold. And then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, and he wanted to specify, he says, I do not say that alif lam mim is a harf. He says, but that alif is a harf, lam is a harf, lam is a letter, mim is a letter. So you'll get 10 rewards for each letter. You see? So the Quran is also the best way for a servant to draw closer to his or her Lord. This Quran reading is so special. Read it, my brothers and sisters. Read it. Because one of the Sahabas, Khutbat ibn al-Arat, said to a man, he said, draw closer to Allah as much as you can. As much as you can, and remember that you can do so by no means more pleasing to him than by his own words. Than by his own words. You're drawing closer to Allah by his own words. You see? So these are some special things. What about the night prayer? The night prayer in Islam. Many of us sometimes pass the nights of the month of Ramadan, especially the last 10 nights. We stand in prayer before Allah. And so we want to continue to do that. But Allah says in the Quran, surely your Lord knows that you stand in prayer 2/3 of the night, or half of it, or 1/3 of it. You see? And the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the best prayer after the obligatory prayer is the night prayer. Some people call it Tawheed, some people call it Salat al-Layl, some people call it Tahajjud. But it's beyond Fajr, beyond Isha. It's beyond that night prayer. You see? And then Allah Ta'ala said the night prayer carries with it many blessings. For example, Al-Hassan, one of the Sahabas was asked, how is it that those who stay up at night have the most attractive faces? He replied, because they are on intimate terms with the merciful. They are on intimate terms with the merciful, and he adorns them with some of his nur, with some of his light. The light of reading and praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see, and for those of us who feel that standing in the night prayer will leave us tired and unable to go about our daily tasks in the morning, we should consider the following words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see, Allah's prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, when any of you sleeps, this is what he said, when any of you sleeps, Shaitan ties 3 knots at the back of his head. 3 knots Shaitan ties at the back of his head when people sleep. And he says, on each knot he repeats and he exhales the following words. The night is long, so stay asleep. And all of us feel that way. Man, I'm so tired in the morning. You got fasting. You got to wake up for suhoor. But the Shaitan is telling you the night is long, so stay asleep. Stay asleep. I got these 3 knots on your head. And so, if you wake up and remember Allah, this is what happens. If you wake up and remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, 1 knot is undone. If you wake up. And if you make wudu ablution, then he takes another knot out of your head. And if you pray, then the 3rd knot is undone. And then you get up in the morning full of energy with a clear heart. So while you're feeling bad because you didn't wake up, it's because you still got those 3 knots in your head. You're groggy. Otherwise, you will get up feeling lazy and with a muddled heart. Then you have finally that of fasting during this month. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts a day in the way of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place between him and the fire a trench like that between the heavens and the earth. So this is what's so important about this month of Ramadan. Likewise, fasting wipes away the evils that arises out of a person's wealth, his family, or his neighbor. Then the Prophet ﷺ explained to us that fasting protects us from our unlawful desires. He says that fasting shields us from the hellfire. That fasting draws us closer to Allah and closer to Jannah and closer to paradise. You see why it's so important to take advantage of the benefits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us during this Ramadan? why it's so important. And the best days for all of these things is Ramadan. These Ramadan days are so crucial. Let's take advantage of them. Only 30 days within a year. And last but not least is the charity. I can't help but mention it. I know people get tired of me saying give, give, give. I know you get tired. But I'm going to tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Because I'm only a reflection of what they should be saying and doing. Because alhamdulillah, most of us live relatively comfortable lives. We live in this country, we live relatively comfortable lives. But there are Muslims all over the world that find great difficulty in attaining the most basic necessities of life. So during Ramadan, most of us give in charity. But we forget to do so for the rest of the year. We forget to do so for the rest of the year. Because giving charity, my brothers and sisters, is of greater benefit of the one who gives it. Giving it, charity is a better benefit. The giver gets a greater reward than the person who receives it, is what I'm saying. He gets the reward of whoever receives it better than that person who receives it. You see, it is a means of purifying our wealth. It is a means of increasing our faith. It is a means of attaining righteousness. And Allah Ta'ala says it is not righteousness that you turn your faces toward the east or the west, but it is righteousness to believe in Allah. It is righteousness to believe in the last day, and the angels, and the books, and the messengers. It is righteousness to spend of your substance out of the love for Him. For who? For your kin, for orphans, for the needy, for the wayfarer. These are words of Allah. They're not words of Imam Abbas. These are the words of Allah. So giving in charity also allows us to express our faith. It allows us to express our faith. To truly taste the sweetness of faith, we must want for our brothers and sisters that which we want for ourselves. That statement is always said. I don't know how many people really believe and understand the meaning of that. You want for your brothers and sisters what you want for yourselves. For the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, none of you will have faith until he likes for his Muslim brothers what he likes for himself. Those are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So clearly, as I end this, clearly, fasting, praying during the night, reading the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and giving charity should not be neglected. Should not be neglected. You see, these good deeds and others like staying away from gossip, staying away from slander are all things we should do all the time. And by keeping the spirit of Ramadan alive, not only during Ramadan, but also outside of Ramadan, throughout the year, we, my brothers and sisters, can safeguard our religion. We, my brothers and sisters, will be able to seize many opportunities to earn the mercy and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So may Allah bless us. Bless us and give us this guidance that you have put in front of us through the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And don't forget, my brothers and sisters, to take advantage of these opportunities that's laid out before us before we partake in death. And it will come all of a sudden. So may Allah bless you, and may Allah keep Ramadan alive forever, inshallah. Let's make dua. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا سنة وفي الآخرة سنة وقنا عذاب النار. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. ربنا وآتنا وعدتنا على رسولك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له بذلك أمرت وأنا من المسلمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وأن لا تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا لا تجعلنا مع قوم الظالمين. ربنا اغفر لنا سبحانه وتوفنا مسلمين. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. إنا ديننا الإسلام. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين. صلاة الجمعة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح فقام الصلاة فقام الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
As a reminder to all my brothers and sisters who are especially viewing anything that I said that may have offended anyone, then may Allah forgive me. And inshallah, let us be mindful of what our duty and responsibilities are towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Salat al-Jumu. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طهاها والنفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بتقواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوا فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I would like to make a couple of announcements, my brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we all invite everyone to come out today and join us in the reading of the Quran tonight at 7:45. We welcome you to come, and also not welcome you to come to the mosque, but welcome you to come to your computers or your TV screens. And I want to invite you to invite others to the reading and let them get the rewards, blessings of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for us during this reading of the Quran. And also as a reminder that I mentioned charity. Those of you who wish to give, go to $ First Cleveland in CashApp. Go to FirstCleveland.org and go on to PayPal. Or you can send a check or money to 3613 East 131st Street, Cleveland, Ohio 44120, or either go to Zelle. These are ways in which you can in reality give. And a reminder that for this community and many communities, because of the magnificent reward that Allah gives you in giving in His multitude during the month of Ramadan, we normally collect our annual zakat. So those of you, make sure that you have an obligation to give your annual zakat, at least before or during the Eid day, inshallah. And of course, we will let you know what the zakat fitr and annual zakat is different, but zakat fitr will more likely be $10 per person per family, or either we can get that to get food or whatever to those people who are in need. So let me remind you that normally is given, that zakat fitr is normally given before you come into the Eid day. So you can always go online to give that, inshallah, here at the mosque as a reminder. We again thank you for your generous donations, all of you. We make dua for you and your families, and may Allah bless you, and may everybody receive Jannah whose heart is filled with the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially during this time of Ramadan. Get the blessings and get the reward we so well deserve, inshallah. May Allah bless you, and may Allah keep you in the light of His continent, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.